Been known as FC, foster child, CIC, child in care, LAC, looked after child, and the foster parents as mum and dad, foster mum and dad, and foster carers. This was the tip of the iceberg. Beneath that lay a mass of acronyms ready to catch out any unsuspecting foster carer. SSW, supervising social worker, CPP, Child Protection Plan, CIN, Child in Need, and IEP, Individual Education Plan, to name a few. Gender fluid, I read out from my phone, is someone who does not see themselves as having a fixed gender, that is, male or female. Oh, said Paula. I read on. It's not about the sex they were born, but about how they see themselves. A gender-fluid person may identify as male or female, or a combination of both. Their gender can vary with their circumstance. Gender-fluid people may be known as multigender, non-binary, or transgender. See what I mean about terminology? They may also be known as genderqueer. That doesn't sound a very nice term, Paula said, and I agreed. But at least I now had an understanding of what gender fluid meant, which was just as well, for as Paula pressed play for us to continue watching the television series, the landline phone rang again. Paula sighed and pressed pause as I reached over to answer the handset in the living room. Is that Kathy Glass? A female voice asked. Yes, speaking. I'm Verity Mildrew, Stevie's social worker. I believe Edith has spoken to you about Stevie and you've agreed to take him. Yes. Good. I'll give you some background information then. That would be helpful. The social services have been involved with the family since Stephen, or rather Stevie, was born. His mother has a long history of alcohol and drug dependency and has been diagnosed with alcohol psychosis, resulting in her having hallucinations and delusions. She has spent time in a psychiatric unit, but at present is in prison. She has no face-to-face contact with Stevie, although in the past they may have been in contact through social media. As far as we are aware, Stevie has no contact with his father. Stevie's maternal grandparents have brought him up and are working with us, so he will be coming into care under a Section 20. This is also known as accommodated and means that no court order is required, as the parents or guardians of the child, in this case the grandparents, have agreed to the child going into care voluntarily. Stevie's grandparents have guardianship of the two younger siblings, Verity continued. There are no issues with their care, so they will be staying with them. However, the grandparents have been under huge pressure and have reached the point where they feel they can no longer cope with Stevie's challenging behaviour. It came to a head when they received a notice threatening court action in respect of Stevie not attending school. I see. Do we know why he hasn't been going to school? I asked. He says it's not relevant to him. He's a nice kid, but is struggling with a number of issues. He's got into trouble at school, although the school has been supportive, especially in respect of his gender identity. He sees himself as gender fluid. You know what that means? Yes, I was able to say. Good. His grandparents can't deal with it and feel he is a bad influence on his younger siblings. How old are they? 6 and 8. I think Stevie's been winding up his grandparents, but I'm sure he'll settle once he's in care. How often had I heard that, I thought. I'd like to bring him for a pre-placement visit, and his grandparents would like to meet you before the move too, but they will need to arrange childcare for the younger two. OK. When were you thinking of? I'll bring Stevie for a pre-placement visit tomorrow, the 28th, then set up a meeting with the grandparents for the following morning, the 29th, and move him in the afternoon. That's fine with me, I said, making a mental note of the arrangements. I'll be in touch with the times and to confirm the dates. Thank you. We said goodbye and Paula and I continued watching the detective series. However, my thoughts were not on the programme, but with Stevie. Many young people his age are moody, withdrawn and confrontational at times. It's part of the teenage years. But what was worrying was that he wasn't attending school. not only because he was missing out.